Mami Wata, The Legacy. Narration by Ed Dimension Shift. This story by Lady-Ava's Tales. Before maps were drawn, before borders divided land and people, there were waters that remembered. In West Africa, in the rivers, and along the coast of Ghana, stories have endured for generations. Stories of beauty, of danger, of something that watches from beneath. They call her Mami Wata.
We are interrupting your normal channel with this breaking news tonight. I'm Kaylee Kelly, your breaking news anchor that can interrupt any broadcast. An international scientific and approved to investigate the long-standing West African legend known as Mami Wata. We will now switch over to U.S. anchor for his report.
Thank you, Kaylee. The mission will take place in Ghana and includes researchers from leading institutions such as the University of Ghana in conjunction with Washington University, Uppsala University in Sweden. Local scientists and international teams will work together to study reported artifacts and underwater structures linked to the legend. Private investors have also shown interest to the project, raising questions about ownership of any historical discoveries.
Dr. Andy Kelver, archaeologist, Sweden-based, trained to trust evidence, not folklore.
Legends survive because people repeat them, not because they're real.
And yet you signed on to this.
Because something left behind artifacts, and artifacts don't lie.
Dr. Nalia Bikomo, hydrologist, born and raised in Ghana, a scientist who studies water and respects what it holds.
You measure the river, but do you understand it?
Understanding begins with listening.
Then listen carefully, some things in the water listen back.
Within days, teams from across the world began to mobilize. Equipment was packed, data models prepared, flights booked. What began as a legend was becoming an operation.
Announcement. Final boarding call for Flight 318-6203 from London to destination. Ghana.
Excuse me, you're blocking access to...
You're not from here.
I could say the same about your assumption. Hydrosonar array?
Yes.
Then we'll be working together.
We'll see. Just don't assume the river behaves the way your books say it does.
Leading the expedition, Dr. Jonah Reeves, an American scientist known for turning controversial theories into global projects.
Let me be clear, we are not here to chase myths. We are here to uncover verifiable history. If something is in that water, we will find it.
That's not what worries me.
Nalia quietly to Kelver.
What does?
What finds us first?
But not everyone involved in the mission was interested in knowledge. Some were interested in possession.
You understand the arrangement.
We document everything.
And then?
We evaluate its significance.
No, you secure it. History doesn't belong buried, and it certainly doesn't belong to governments. It belongs to those who can take it.
Somewhere outside, a single ripple on still water. No wind, no fish, nothing that should cause it. That night, the river answered. Not with words, not yet, but with something the instruments had no category for.
We're getting movement below the scan line, 30 meters down.
Fish?
No pattern match, no thermal signature consistent with fauna.
Shut it down.
Why? We're getting the clearest reading we've had since...
Because it's not moving like anything I've ever seen, and because...
She stops. She is looking at the screen. Everyone in the tent goes still.
It's not moving away from us.
Static crackle. The screen flickers. For 2 seconds, an image, a shape, smooth, vast, the suggestion of a face. Then signal loss. Every screen goes dark simultaneously.
You came back.
Early dawn, mist on the river. The camp is quiet but tense. By morning, the data was gone. The servers had logged nothing between 23:47 and 00:03. 16 minutes. Erased. Someone in the camp knew how to do that.
Someone deleted the scan data, the whole window, manually wiped from the server.
I know.
You don't seem surprised.
I'm not. I grew up hearing about this. Whenever someone gets close to the water's truth, something happens to the evidence. Sometimes it's her. Sometimes it's the people who don't want her found.
That's not a scientific explanation.
No, it's a pattern. And patterns are exactly what you told me you trust.
Kelver has no answer. He looks out at the river. In the morning light, it looks completely ordinary, patient.
The signal was real. Yes, I'm certain we need to move the timeline forward. If Bikomo figures out what's below grid 7 before we...
Reeves suddenly realizes the woman who just passed him heard everything. He had only stolen a brief glance, but it was enough. A knot tightens in his stomach, and a wave of nausea rises as the realization settles in. Nalia Bikomo had read every academic paper on the Mami Wata tradition, but her grandmother had told her something no paper had ever written, that the water spirit did not simply exist in legend. She left marks, in stone, in bark, in the memories of those she trusted. Nalia pushes back overgrowth at the base of an ancient Iroko tree. Beneath the roots, half submerged in soft earth, a flat stone, carved, intricate spirals and serpent forms worn by centuries but unmistakably deliberate.
You've been here the whole time.
She pauses, breath caught somewhere between disbelief and wonder, the forest around her holding its quiet as if it too is watching. The stone, ancient, deliberate, waiting, rests beneath the roots like a secret finally willing to be found. A thrill runs through her, sharp and electric. Almost instinctively, she reaches into her pocket, fingers brushing against the smooth, familiar shape of her phone. The modern weight of it feels strangely out of place here, against the damp earth and centuries-old bark, but necessary, urgent. She draws it out, hands steady despite the quickening pulse in her chest, and lifts it toward the carving. The spirals, the serpents, the worn grooves of something older than memory. She has to capture this, to hold it, to prove it's real. Excitement hums through her, bright and undeniable, tangled with something deeper, something almost reverent. As the lens frames the stone, she realizes this is not just a discovery, it is the beginning of something. Next to her, a twig snaps, silence. Then, Amma, the young camp assistant, steps from the tree line. It takes Nalia a few seconds to look up at her from her phone.
Dr. Bikomo, I need to speak with you. Privately, not at camp.
How did you know I was here?
I followed you. I'm sorry, but I heard something this morning, Reeves, on the phone, and you need to know before it's too late. They're not here for the legend. They're here for what's beneath it. There are documents, a private claim, filed 3 months ago, on something they haven't found yet, but they know it's there, and it doesn't belong to them.
Who filed the claim?
A company, registered in the Cayman Islands, but the man behind it, his name is Lucian Drake.
Amma, how do you know so much?
I can't explain that yet, but you need to trust that you're not alone. We are watching.
Who are we?
The ones making sure this doesn't happen again.
I need a word, now.
We're behind schedule, Kelva.
Who has authorization to wipe the server logs?
Reeves quiet, a fraction too long.
System glitch. The humidity got into the...
I've been working field operations for 18 years. Humidity doesn't produce a manual deletion timestamp.
Be very careful where you take this, Adrian.
Or what?
Or you find yourself removed from the expedition on grounds of conduct. And your career, your institution, starts asking questions about the Uppsala grant irregularities from 2019.
Silence. Kelva stares at him.
You've done your homework.
I always do. Stick to the science, Kelva. Leave the rest alone.
Reeves walks away. Kelva stands very still. Something has shifted. He knows it. Whatever line he thought he was standing behind, he just crossed it. There are moments when science and memory share the same breath. When the thing you have studied your whole life looks back. The water is perfectly still. No insects, no wind, an impossible quiet. Then the surface moves, not rippling outward, but inward, as if something below is breathing. A low tone, not a sound so much as a vibration, felt in the chest.
You carry the question your grandmother could not finish asking.
Nalia does not run. She closes her eyes, opens them.
Are you real?
You are standing at the edge of a river that has existed for 10,000 years. You ask if I am real. Ask instead what they intend to take from me.
Drake, the private claim.
What he seeks is not an artifact. It is a source. The place where the water remembers everything. Every life it touched. Every covenant made in my name. Every soul it carried to the other shore. If it is taken, the river forgets. And when the river forgets,
The people forget who they are.
Silence, the water stills.
you already know what must be done. You have always known. The question is whether you believe you are strong enough to do it.
The presence retreats, the insects return, the night is ordinary again, but Nalia is not the same woman who sat down at the river's edge. Pre-dawn, Kelva walks down the path where he sees Nalia at the tree. As he approaches, he sees the carved stone and then intensely looks at her.
How long have you known about this?
No, good morning. Good morning, Adrian, since yesterday. I didn't tell you because I didn't know if I could trust you.
My apologies, Nalia. That was rude of me. Good morning, Nalia. And now do you think you can?
Okay, I get it. Straight to the point, no small talk first. I can accept that, honestly. I know that Reeves threatened you. Amma told me. People who threaten scientists are afraid of what the science will find. That means you're already on the right side, whether you chose it or not.
I'm a logical man, Nalia. I don't believe in water spirits.
You don't have to believe in her. You have to believe in what they're trying to steal. And who it belongs to.
Kelva crouches, studies the carvings with his torch. His professional eye takes over, and what he sees makes him quiet for a long time.
These spiral forms. I've seen this notation before. In papers from the 1960s. Artifacts pulled from the Niger Delta that were immediately reclassified as commercially sensitive and disappeared into private collections.
Someone has been collecting the pieces for a long time.
Drake.
This isn't the first expedition, it's the last one. The one where he thinks he's found enough of the map.
They look at each other. The alliance is formed not with words, but with the shared weight of what they now know. A helicopter, expensive, private, comes in with authority, like it demands it without any spoken words. It echoes, "I have the power." It lands on the cleared ground at the camp's edge. He had stayed in the shadows until now, but patience had run out. Or perhaps something had called him here. Even predators, sometimes, are drawn by forces they do not understand. Lucian Drake steps out, immaculate, unhurried. He surveys the camp as if he already owns it. He understands his power. It is not just the power of him as a person, but his money. In his mind, money can buy anything you want. Does not matter the cost of your own soul. Reeves moves quickly, not out of loyalty, but out of calculation. Every step a quiet act of gatekeeping. Drake must hear his voice first, see his face first, feel his presence first, because in the architecture of power, the man who controls the access controls the outcome. And Reeves had not come this far to let confusion or chance or anyone else's ambition stand between him and what Drake represented. His next fortune was walking across that grass, but Drake does not extend his hand. And in that single omission, that small, deliberate nothing, the architecture shifts. Reeves smiles anyway. He has no other choice.
Jonah, remarkable work. Truly, I wanted to see it for myself.
We weren't expecting you until...
Plans change. Progress waits for no one.
His eyes find Nalia across the camp. He knows exactly who she is. Silence fills the air for a moment with a pause, which Drake cannot explain.
Drake, moving toward her, hand extended.
Dr. Bikomo, your reputation precedes you. Ghana's finest hydrologist. I've read everything you've published.
Then you'll know I publish everything I find, publicly, in full.
Pause, but something shifts behind his eyes.
Of course, as it should be.
He moves on, but both of them know exactly what was just said. The river, a dive team, equipment, Kelva and Nalia suited up, against protocol, against Reeves's orders.
If they discover we've accessed Grid 7 without clearance...
They'll have us removed, yes, but if we don't go now, before Drake's team reaches it...
Then it's gone, whatever it is. Catalogued, extracted, and vanished into a private vault.
She told me it's a source, not an object, a place. You can't put it in a vault, but you can destroy what surrounds it.
They descend. The water closes over them, not knowing what awaits them below the waterline. Below, impossibly, there is light. Not reflected, not artificial, coming from the riverbed itself. Warm, golden, ancient, and as they approach, a sound, not mechanical, not biological, a voice, or the memory of many voices, all the river has ever carried, 30 meters below the surface of a Ghanaian river. Two scientists, one who trusted only evidence, one who had always trusted the water, found what no expedition had ever been meant to find. They look at each other through their masks. No words, No instruments needed. They know. Back to the surface, back to the world above, the camp, the politics, the danger. They came searching for a legend. They brought science, ambition, and secrets. But the water was waiting. And Mami Wata does not simply grant power. She grants remembrance. She reminds you of who you were before the world told you to forget. Sometimes that is the most dangerous gift of all. Then silence. Then, far below, a shape moving through golden light. Watching. Patient, eternal, underwater, slowed. The golden light from the riverbed pulses like a heartbeat. Nalia and Kelva hover motionless in the water. There are things the human mind is not designed to process, not because we are too small for them, but because we have spent centuries teaching ourselves not to see. This is not an artifact, not a structure, a formation in the riverbed where the stone itself has changed. Smooth concentric rings, carved or grown, it is impossible to say which, spiraling inward to a central point from which the light originates. Around the outer rings, carvings, the same spirals Nalia found on the stone at the Iroko tree. Hundreds of them, thousands. Kelva reaches out. His hand hovers above the stone. He does not touch it. Something, instinct, or something older than instinct, stops him. Nalia shakes her head slowly. Not yet. They look at each other. Then, together, they begin to surface.
What was that?
Not a question.
No, a statement. I don't have a question that fits what I just saw.
My grandmother called it Nsuofia, the water home. She said it was the place where Mami Wata rested between the worlds, where the river holds its oldest memories.
The carvings. They match the stone at the tree exactly.
They match carvings found at 6 other sites across West Africa. All dismissed. All reclassified. All quietly purchased by private collectors within 18 months of discovery.
Drake has been building toward this for how long?
My estimate, 30 years. This expedition isn't a discovery, it's a delivery.
Then we have very little time.
Somewhere near the tent, a light moves. Someone was watching the water. Someone knows they went down. The river at golden hour, the camp transformed, official vehicles, heritage authority personnel, the beginning of something that will take years, but beginning. They had come for a legend. Some had come to own it. Some had come to study it. Some had come to protect it. And one had been summoned by it. The Nsuofia remained where it had always been, 30 meters below the surface of a Ghanaian river, 10,000 years old, patient. The water does not forget. It cannot be purchased, reclassified, or quietly acquired. It simply endures. And when someone stands at its edge and chooses to remember who they are, the river remembers with them. The camp, pre-dawn, fires low, most of the team asleep, or appearing to be. In every expedition there is a geography of loyalty. Some people are hired for their skills, some are hired for their silence, and some are hired to watch the others. A man sits at the edge of camp. He is in the last pod, back to the fire, face toward the river. His name is Stefan Broch, 30s, quietly built. He is listed on the manifest as a data analyst from Uppsala. He has barely touched a computer since arrival. He has a satellite radio. He speaks into it in a low, clipped tone.
Bikomo and Kelva went down tonight. 40 minutes. They came up without samples, without equipment readings. They're protecting what they found.
Then Drake's voice.
Grid 7.
Has to be. The current reading at that point changed after they surfaced. Something was disturbed.
Move up the extraction team. I want divers at Grid 7 by tomorrow night. Reeves will authorize it.
And Bikomo?
She becomes a problem only if she becomes public. Make sure she has no signal. Cut her satellite access. Quietly.
Kelva?
He's leverage. We already have what we need on him. He'll stand down when pressed.
Stefan lowers the radio. He stares at the river for a moment. Something in his expression, not guilt exactly, but the shadow of it. The river gives nothing back. Patient. Watching. The supply tent. Amma doing inventory alone. Nalia enters quietly. Amma knows something has happened.
I need your phone.
My satellite connection was cut this morning. I thought it was the network, but...
It wasn't the network.
How bad is it?
They know we went to Grid 7. They're moving an extraction team in tonight. Whatever is down there, once Drake's people reach it, it's gone.
Gone where?
into private ownership. Registered in a jurisdiction where Ghanaian heritage law has no reach, it becomes property. It becomes a transaction.
Ama is quiet. She is young, 26, but she carries herself with a stillness that belongs to someone much older. She reaches into her pocket, pulls out a small personal phone, prepaid, old.
Remember I told you we are watching my uncle. He works at the Ghana Heritage Authority in Accra. If you can get a message to him, official documentation of the site, they can issue an emergency protection order. It would freeze all extraction activity legally. Drake would need a court to overturn it.
That buys us time.
It buys you time. If they trace this phone to me.
Ama.
I know what I'm doing. My grandmother used to tell stories about the water home. I thought they were just stories. Send the message.
Nalia's hands are steady, her jaw is set. Outside the tent, footsteps pass. Both women go still. Wait. The footsteps continue. Fade. Nalia begins to type. The research archive tent. Kelva alone with the physical expedition files, the paper copies that can't be remotely wiped. Kelva had spent his career following evidence. He had never considered that evidence could be arranged, that someone could build a trail of breadcrumbs, publish papers, dismissed findings, reclassified artifacts, all leading to the same door, all leading here. He spreads files across the table, cross-references them to make sure he has all the facts in his mind organized. He looks at all the evidence and formulates it in his mind, and he must put this onto paper now that he has made sense of the extent of this damage caused by greedy people. His handwriting fills a notebook. Dates, names, locations, purchase records. A pattern emerges that is too precise to be coincidence. 1987, Niger Delta carvings. Dismissed. Purchased privately within 6 months. 1994, underwater formations off the Côte d'Ivoire coast. Reclassified. Privately acquired. 2003, stone calendar found near the Volta River basin. Destroyed in a flood. Insurance paid to a holding company. 2011, a Ghanaian academic named Dr. Mensima Aboa published a paper connecting all 3 sites. Her funding was cut within the year. She disappeared from the academic record entirely.
30 years. You have been building this for 30 years.
He picks up the photo of Dr. Aboa from the 2011 paper. Young, brilliant looking, smiling.
You're up early.
Research doesn't sleep.
Dr. Reeves would like to see you after breakfast, his pod.
I'll be there.
Stefan doesn't leave immediately. He is looking at the files on the table. Kelva keeps his hand resting casually over Dr. Aboa's photograph.
Interesting reading. Historical context. Always useful.
Then Stefan leaves. Kelva waits until the footsteps are gone. Then he takes the notebook, folds it, and places it inside his shirt. Reeves' pod. Kelva stands on the porch with Reeves. Reeves is standing, not sitting. A power choice. Drake is also present. Kelva hadn't expected that.
Adrian, thank you for coming.
I wasn't aware this was optional.
Dr. Kelva, Jonah speaks very highly of your work. Please sit.
I'll stand.
Drake accepts this without reaction. He is the kind of man who stores every small defiance and uses it later.
We're aware of your dive last night. You and Dr. Bikomo. Grid 7.
We were running preliminary surveys, standard practice.
Without logging the dive, without equipment readings, without informing the team leader. Dr. Kelva, I'm not here to accuse anyone of anything. I'm here to ensure this expedition achieves its goals cleanly, transparently.
Transparently, yes. Let's talk about transparency. Shall we talk about the Cayman Islands company that filed a private heritage claim on Grid 7 3 months before this expedition was publicly announced?
The warmth in Drake's face doesn't disappear. It simply pauses, like a screen that has buffered.
That is a private financial matter.
On Ghanaian sovereign territory, using an academic expedition as cover.
You are a very intelligent man, Dr. Kelva. I'd hate to see intelligence become a liability.
Is that a threat?
It's an observation. The Uppsala irregularities, the 2019 grant misallocation. These things have a way of surfacing at inconvenient moments for inconvenient people.
Then surface them. I'd rather be investigated for a grant irregularity than complicit in the theft of a nation's heritage. Investigate me, I'll cooperate fully, and while the investigation runs, so will I.
He turns and walks out. His hands at his sides are shaking, but his back is straight. Behind him, Drake and Reeves going to sit on the chair with his whiskey exchanger. Look, something has changed in Drake's calculation. Kelva just became a different kind of problem. The village at the river's edge, half a kilometre from camp. Nalia walks the path she has walked since childhood, before there were universities, before there were papers and peer review and professional reputations. There were elders who remembered, not because they were told to, because forgetting was not something the river allowed.
You wondered when you would come back.
I went to grid 7 last night.
And you saw it there.
The light, the carvings, yes.
Then Sophie has not shown itself in 40 years. Not since the last time I came with machines and intentions.
What happened then?
The river rose. In the dear Ypsilon season. 3 meters in one night. The machines were destroyed. The my left. She is patient. But she is not passive.
NATO. There is a man here now. His name is Drake. He has legal filings. Money. People inside the expedition.
Legal filings.
He almost smiles, not with amusement, with something sadder.
The river was here before long. She will be here after it, but people depend on her. They live inside the law. That is their vulnerability.
I've sent a message to the Heritage Authority.
Good. Then do what much must do. Fight with the tools of your time. She will do what she has always done.
Which is?
Endure. And when the moment comes, anything what they've forgotten.
The river sounds close, closer than the distance suggests it should. Kelva, walking back toward camp, nearly collides with Stefan on the path. They both stop, a standoff on a narrow track through grass.
I'm not following you.
Aren't you?
I came to find you, not for Drake.
Kelva waits, says nothing. He has learned in the last 12 hours that silence is a more useful tool than he ever gave it credit for.
I was hired by Drake's organization 8 months ago. Data surveillance. Monitoring the academic teams who might be recruited for this expedition. Flagging anyone who might complicate things.
Why are you telling me this and you are admitting flagging me?
I flagged Bikomo. You were secondary. I have been in this work for 6 years. Resource extraction, cultural suppression, private acquisition of indigenous heritage. I have watched it happen in 4 countries. I told myself it was just data, just numbers, just coordinates.
And now?
Last night, when you went into the water, I watched the river. Something moved. Not a fish, not a current. Something that knew you were there. And I thought, if this is real, then everything I have helped cover up is real too.
Kelva studies him, a long, hard look.
What do you want?
To give you the extraction team's schedule, their equipment manifest, and Drake's private communication logs from the last 48 hours.
Why?
Because I finally felt something I can't put in a data report.
He give Kelva a USB drive. Kelva takes it, neither speaks again. They look at other for a moment and then part ways on the path. A hire car, dust road. A woman drives alone toward the camp. She wasn't on any official manifest. Her name was Priya Sood, investigative journalist, Nairobi-based. She had been tracking Lucian Drake for 2 years. 3 sources, 2 countries, 1 story she couldn't yet prove. She hadn't been invited to this expedition. She had invited herself. She parks a kilometre from camp and walks. A press pass around her neck. Legitimate, but not for this assignment. A recorder, a camera, small enough to conceal. She walks towards the security beam at the camp perimeter. She stops by a security contractor.
This is a restricted research site. Press access requires.
I'm not press. I'm a visiting academic from the University of Nairobi, here to observe for a paper on international research ethics.
She hands him a faculty card. It is real. She is also adjunct faculty. She has covered all her angles. The contractor hesitates, then lets her through. Inside the camp, Priya moves slowly, deliberately, as if she belongs. She is looking for one person. She finds Nalia returning from the village.
Dr. Bikomo, I know this is unexpected. My name is Priya Sood. I have 2 years of documentation on Lucian Drake's acquisition network. I think you have something he wants, and I think together we can make sure he doesn't get it.
Nalia looks at her for a long moment.
How did you know to come here?
I've been following Drake's money. When the Kaiman filing appeared linked to a Ghanaian river coordinate, I knew this is the one he's been building toward.
If I speak to you, on record,
Then whatever is in that river becomes a public story before Drake can extract it. And public stories are the one thing his lawyers can't suppress quietly.
Not yet. I need one more thing first, then we talk.
Nightfall. The camp is louder than usual. Drake's extraction team has arrived. New faces, equipment being unloaded. The academic expedition is being quietly swallowed by something else. There are moments when the world closes in, when every exit seems to seal, when the people who should protect what matters are the ones dismantling it. These are the moments Mami Wata was made for. Nalia stands in front of her pod. The phone, Ama's uncle's number. No response yet. The Heritage Authority works on Ghanaian government time. There may be no response until morning. By morning, Drake's team will be in the water. Nalia feels the pull, walks to the river hastily. The water is different tonight, darker. The water ripples softly like the inner voice is speaking outward towards her.
I'm running out of time and I need to know, is what I'm doing enough? Is any of this enough?
The water breathes, that movement again, that pulse.
You are asking if you are enough.
Yes.
You were made by women who stood at this river when it was all they had, when the only law was the one that took from them, when the only power was the one they carried inside themselves. You have a journalist, an archaeologist who chose his conscience, a young woman who chose truth over safety, a man who felt something he couldn't quantify and changed sides because of it.
That's not enough to stop Drake.
No, but it is enough to make noise, and I am very good at amplifying noise.
A sound beneath the water, not threatening, something between a song and a warning, beautiful and vast.
Tell the man who doubts, bring his notebook to the water tomorrow at first light. Let him see what evidence looks like when it is 10,000 years old. Let him see it before Drake's people do.
The presence withdraws. The river is ordinary again, but Nalia is already moving. Nalia walks to Kelva's pod. Nalia wakes him. He is already half awake. He has not really slept.
Kelva, wake up and bring your notebook. The river has something to show you.
Nalia, it's...
I know what time it is. Come.
He comes. They walk to the water in silence. The stars are extraordinary. No light pollution this far from the city. At the bank, Kelva opens his notebook. His cross-reference timeline, 30 years of Drake's acquisitions.
I don't know what you expect to happen.
The water moves, slowly. The golden light from grid 7, 30 meters below, begins to rise. Not all the way, but enough. The river glows faintly from beneath, illuminating the bank in amber. In that light, stones rise from under the water and are revealed to Kelva and Nalia. The carvings on the submerged rocks at the bank's edge become visible. They had always been there. No one had looked in the right light. Kelva goes very still. He looks at the pages of his notebook, then the stones in front of him.
This notation, this exact sequence, appears in a private sale catalog from 1991. A catalog from Drake's first documented acquisition. He bought a stone with this marking for £900,000. He told the seller it was decorative.
He knew what it was.
He's known for 30 years. The whole thing, the whole career. It's been a map. He's been following the carvings home.
He looks at the river, at the faint golden light beneath it, and for the first time, Dr. Adrian Kelva, archaeologist, believer in evidence, feels something he has no professional category for. The golden light intensifies. The river stirs, not with wind, not with current. Something beneath the surface is rising. Mami Wata rises. She surfaces onto the stone in her full form. Her lower body a vast, iridescent tail of deep teal and gold, scaled like living armor, coiling powerfully beneath her. Her upper body is adorned in gold, chest piece, arm cuffs, jeweled headpiece, and a great serpent rests across her shoulders like a crown, its head raised. Her long dark hair moves as though the water still holds it. She does not rush, she does not announce herself, she simply is. One hand extends toward Kelva, not reaching for him, showing him. Kelva does not move. He cannot move. His notebook is open in his hands, and he is looking between the carvings on the stone beneath her tail and the page in front of him. They are identical.
She's standing on the proof.
Nalia says nothing. There is nothing to say. Mami Wata holds his gaze, 10,000 years of patience in her eyes, not demanding belief, simply waiting for him to arrive at what was always true. Slowly, with the gravity of a man setting down something very heavy, Kelver closes his notebook. He does not need it anymore.
I owe you an apology.
He is not speaking to Nalia, a beat. Then, as silently as she came, Mami Wata descends. The stone lowers with her. The river closes over the light. The bank is dark again.
Save it. We need to get this notebook photographed and out of camp before morning.
Reeves's pod. Late. He is alone, drinking. The files spread before him. He has been sitting here a long time. Not every person in a conspiracy is a villain. Some are simply afraid. Some made one small compromise years ago and woke up one day to find themselves far from the shore. Reeves had crossed so many lines, he had forgotten where the first one was. But he remembered the night it started. A funding shortfall, a phone call, an offer that was too convenient. He had told himself it was temporary. Priya appears out of nowhere and Reeves notices her, but he does not lift his head. He keeps looking at the files and he has a feeling what is coming next.
I'm not here to destroy you, Dr. Reeves. I'm here because you're the only person in this camp who has enough documentation to expose Drake completely. Not partially, completely.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The 2003 Volta River stone, the insurance fraud, the holding company. You signed the paperwork, didn't you? Not Drake. You, which means you're the one with criminal exposure. Unless you cooperate.
A long silence fills the air and Reeves knows that there are no more choices left.
If I talk, Drake's lawyers will.
Drake's lawyers work in the dark. I work in public. The moment this publishes, and it will publish, the legal landscape changes entirely. Whistleblower protections apply. Ghanaian law applies. International heritage law applies.
And what happens to me?
That depends on what you give me and when you give it.
Reeves looks at the files, at the drink in his hand, at a life that has been making itself smaller for 30 years.
Close the doors.
The extraction team at the river, Drake overseeing, confident, moving fast now. He had waited 30 years. He could not wait one more day. In his world, patience was a strategy, not a virtue, and his patience had run out. Drake stands watching his divers prepare. He has the satisfaction of a man who believes he has already won. Then, Nalia walks toward him, Kelver beside her, Amma behind them, and Priya Sood with a camera, and Stefan standing slightly apart, watching.
Dr. Bikomo, this is a restricted area during active operations.
At 6 this morning, the Ghana Heritage Authority issued an emergency cultural protection order on coordinates corresponding to Grid 7 and a 1-kilometre radius. You have been served electronically. Your legal team in London received it 11 minutes ago.
She holds up her phone, the document on screen.
Any extraction activity at this site is now a criminal offence under Ghanaian law. Your divers will not enter the water.
This can be challenged. Any competent lawyer
will have to do so publicly, in Ghanaian courts, while my article, which goes live at 9 this morning, details 30 years of acquisition, suppression, and fraud, including testimony from Dr. Jonah Reeves.
Something moves behind Drake's eyes. For the first time, the calculation failing, the variables not resolving the way they should.
Jonah wouldn't.
He did last night, 2 hours of it on record.
He straightens his jacket, the composure of a man who has lost before and knows how to leave the room.
30 years.
She was waiting longer than that.
Drake turns and walks back to his helicopter. His extraction team disperses without a word. They have read enough rooms to know when the job is over. The camp is quieter now, Drake's helicopter long gone, the river at the center of everything. Nalia stands at the bank, just for a moment. The others give her this. The water breathes, the golden light far below surfaces, and it is visible to everyone at the bank.
We bought time, that's all. He'll be back. Someone like him will always be back.
Yes, they come in every generation, with different names and different instruments, but the same hunger. And in every generation, someone stands at the water and chooses to remember.
Is it enough?
It has always been enough. The water is still here. I am still here. And now, so are you.
First, the water parts, not violently, deliberately, as though the river has been holding its breath for 10,000 years and has finally chosen to exhale. Her upper body breaks the surface, luminous, adorned in gold that catches the amber light of the river itself. The great serpent coiled at her shoulders lifts its head, alert, ancient, watching. Her long dark hair fans outward as she rises, still moved by water that is no longer around her, as though she carries the river with her wherever she goes. And then her lower body follows. Not a tail, not fins. A vast serpentine coil, teal and gold, scaled like living armor, iridescent and enormous, unspools from the water with the slow, inevitable power of something that has never once been hurried. It does not slither, it does not thrash. It moves the way rivers move, with absolute certainty of where it is going. She comes fully onto the bank. She stands, if standing is even the word, her great coil settling beneath her, rising to lift her above them all, her eyes level with something beyond the tree line, beyond the camp, beyond the reach of any legal filing or corporate claim. She turns those eyes, slowly, downward, to the people before her. 10,000 years of memory, 10,000 years of patience, and something that is not anger, but is its elder, its origin, the thing anger was made from, long before human hearts learned to name it. She does not speak, she does not need to. Every person on that bank feels it, not as sound, not as vision, but as the oldest kind of knowing, the kind that was in the body long before the mind learned to argue with it.
My grandmother told me. She told me and I didn't. I should have.
She cannot finish. The river finishes for her, a warmth moving across the bank like a hand placed gently on a shoulder. Stefan stands very still, the data analyst from Uppsala, the man who spent 6 years reducing sacred things to coordinates.
I have spent my whole career measuring things I didn't understand. I never once asked what they meant to the people who lived beside them.
Kelver, the archaeologist, the man who spent a lifetime believing only in what he could prove. He looks at the river, at her.
Everything I was taught to trust. Evidence, documentation, peer review. Drake used all of it, as weapons, as cover, as theft, dressed in the language of scholarship.
Yes.
And what stopped him wasn't more of the same. It was a young woman who listened, an elder who remembered, a girl who hid a phone. Truth doesn't always arrive with credentials.
Mami Wata holds the moment. Then, slowly, she descends. The river receives her without a ripple. The golden light dims, degree by degree, until only the faintest amber pulse remains far below. The river is ordinary again. But no one on that bank will ever see ordinary the same way. Lucian Drake had spent 30 years building an empire from other people's heritage. He had money, he had lawyers, he had patience and strategy, and the quiet machinery of power. And in the end, the river outlasted all of it. Because greed is not how you obtain respect in this world. Greed is not how you build a legacy. It is not how you earn trust or love, or the kind of authority that endures when the lawyers go home and the helicopters have flown away. Real power, the kind that lasts, is built differently. From Lady-Ava's tales, to every soul who joined us on this journey, thank you. Thank you for sitting with us beside the river, for listening when the water spoke, for believing, even just for a moment, in something older and more beautiful than the world we see every day. Mami Wata has been carried in the hearts of our ancestors for thousands of years. She has been whispered in the stories our grandmothers told us when the world felt too loud. She has waited, patient as a river, for someone to tell her story with the love and respect it deserves. We hope we did her justice. This story was built with every piece of our hearts, late nights, early mornings, coffee cups and dreams. It was built for you, for the little ones who need to see magic that looks like them, for the elders who already knew she was real, for everyone in between who simply needed to remember. The water does not forget, and neither will we. With all our love, Lady-Ava and Mom.